Today I've got something I've been working on for quite a few weeks, quite a few months, and today what I want to show you is how I'm going to mount an action camera to my bike. Now before you turn off this video, I want to say that this is going to be something much more unique. What my goal for this mount is not only to just mount it onto a bike and start riding, but I want to show you how I'm going to mount it so that it can be quickly released for handheld footage and then quickly mounted back on. I'm going to show you the parts that I chose to do this with. I'm going to show you how I fabricated it, and it can be done very easily with just a few basic tools and a few simple items from the hardware store. So I'm going to show you all the parts. You will need to order a few things, and you might have to go to the bike shop to get a few things, but I'll show you. I'll put all the products that I used in the description below. Alright, let me just walk you through the parts we have here laid out. The first thing you will notice is I do have a camera. This is the Sony action camera. It's inside of its waterproof case at the moment, and it comes with this platform here. This is the mount, I guess. I don't know what you call it. This came with the camera, but basically it mounts into Sony quick release mounts, which is what this is right here. So this just got here today, so I just pulled it out of the shipping. I noticed that it also comes with another one of these, and this is the adhesive. What this is this is the Sony adhesive mount, where you can mount this to anything, a flat surface or even a curved surface. So I'm going to open up this, but I just want to give you a walkthrough of the parts that I have ordered. I do like this because why I'm going to use this is because of this quick release lever right here. This is why I chose this brand. And this mount right here, this is the universal mount. It is for mounting to a cell phone. So here's an iPhone SE. So this is the smallest SE, which has a small form factor. So in theory, you would be able to use this adhesive backing, in theory, and mount it to the iPhone. This has a rubber grommet in here that I believe can be switched out if you have a larger diameter handlebar. These are the parts that I'm going to be using. There's one other missing piece here that may come into play, and we'll find out as we put this together. I may need to make a small metal plate. I may go down to the hardware store and get a piece of aluminum about the size of the width of this iPhone, so that I can mount this to the metal plate, and then on the flip side mount one of these things to that. Okay, I'll show you how I'm going to do all this, but for now I just want you to see the parts that I'm going to be using to make up this special handlebar quick release mount. Here they are out of the package and on my table here. So basically you get one of these, which goes into here. The way this thing goes on, this raised prong here, that goes in this supplied spot, and that just keeps it from rotating. So that way you don't have to torque it down real tight. You can just get it on tight, but not too tight. Okay, I got it started. So you just slide it in, and it locks, and that is very tight. Very, very tight. Okay, so it's locked in, and this has a curved surface. One of them has a very curved surface to it. That's if you want to mount it to a helmet or something like that, you could. And then they have two that have flat surfaces, which is what I need. So now what I'm not sure yet is whether or not I can just mount this onto here. So that was my first thought, was that won't work, that it would probably be too small. But as I look at it, this might just be the perfect solution. is to just pull off the adhesive tape, mount the two together, and be done. My fear is, not knowing how strong this tape is, that the camera will be mounted on here and everything will be going great until I hit a really hard bump and the thing just rips off of that. So that's relying on tape only. For a camera that's heavy, an iPhone isn't, an iPhone's heavy but not that heavy. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a little piece of aluminum plate, a very thin 1/8 inch aluminum plate. I'm going to cut it to the shape of this, and then I'm going to mount this to the aluminum plate, and then I'm going to drill a hole here, right here, and a hole right here. And I'm going to run a countersunk through a screw, through the metal plate, through this, with a countersunk head. And actually you can see there's a groove here, so you only have to get it below the line. The screw head just has to be below the line of those ridges, and you won't have interference with the plate sliding in. You won't interfere. What I need to do now is I just need to run down to the hardware store and get a piece of aluminum and a couple of countersunk screws, and then some, I'm going to get the nylon locking nuts just so that they stay tight. And I think, if you look at this concept I have, I think you could get away without using the aluminum plate that I'm planning to do here. But I really think that because of the possible torque from the impact of when you're riding, especially if you're going to be doing any kind of mountain bike riding, I would recommend using the aluminum plate. And I don't think it's going to take that much extra work to fabricate up a thin plate to fit between these. So that's what we're going to go do. I'm going to go get the plate and the screws, and I'm going to cut it out to the size that I think is going to work the best. And then I'm going to show you this whole thing all put back together. Alright, so I got a piece of aluminum here. This, thanks to the hardware store, was able to dig this out. So this is a mistake, and it's made out of aluminum, and it looks like it's about a 1/16 of an inch thick. I think this is going to be perfect. So what I'm going to do is cut this to the shape of my little bracket. Now your version might be slightly different, but I'm going to use this sign because they made a mistake. They did the numbers wrong, and we're going to repurpose this. Isn't that great? Not to waste something. It is aluminum. It has a thin film on it, which I'm going to have to peel off, unfortunately. But I'm going to cut it first, and then peel off the film, and then I'm going to sand it and smooth out the edges. Then I'm going to drill a couple of holes. I picked up some screws. I got some number 6s, and I got a couple different lengths just because I'm not sure how thick this whole assembly is going to turn out to be. So I grabbed a couple different lengths and some lock nuts, some nylon lock nuts. I'm going to make this, and then I'm going to show you the final product. Okay, so I just finished making my little metal plate. Let me just show you what it looks like real quick. Okay, so you recall this is the part that the camera slides into. It's got the adhesive back. This was the other part. Well, now, as you can see, there's a little bit of green still on here, so I grinded off this sticky stuff, and I made a little aluminum plate that basically matches the size of this. So this piece of aluminum, I didn't measure it, but it's probably a 1/16 of an inch thick. I went ahead and stuck it to here, and I drilled 2 holes, one on the top, one on the bottom. However, this plate's a little bit smaller, so I wasn't able to do the 2 holes. So I'm going to pick one instead and just go with one. On the front, what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread in one of these screws that I bought just in the front, and it's going to just cinch it down like that. I'm going to put a couple washers in there, maybe, we'll see, and just tighten it down like that. And that's just going to keep it from rotating or lifting up. That's all it's going to need. Honestly, this is going to be way stronger than it will be necessary. I think the adhesive would probably be good enough. Okay, so I grabbed the bike. Okay, so we'll go ahead and mount this up real quick. And I did check to make sure. I looked at the package and I made sure that this is for a 25.8 or whatever it is, and this is for a 31.6. Alright, so that's, can you see that? No. Well, let me bring this down. Well, here. So as you can see, I went ahead and just mounted it on the bike, and I'm going to mount it so it's just centered. And the reason I'm going to be doing that is because I want to be able to come in here and grab and twist. So the idea is palms, push down, twist, come off, okay? So that's how I'm going to be doing this. Next step will be to put the plate in the mount. I'm going to mark this. I want it to be as straight as possible. So let me go get the camera. Okay, so here's the camera, if you recall, and here's the Sharpie for marking. So this will go in. Looks like it's going to slide in from front to back. So we'll put it on. Okay, so pretend it's all adhered down. So what I want to do is I want to mark it so that it is absolutely centered. A straight line with the center line of the stem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a couple marks with the red pen once I set it where I like it. I'm gonna get this centered. Camera straight ahead, exactly. Exactly. You want it to be exact. I just want to make sure it's perfectly centered. Here it is. There's the final product. I went ahead and because let's show you the top side. So these screws were countersunk here so that the camera itself can slide in and not get interrupted. Okay, so you gotta have countersunk screws. On the back side, I centered this one, so that's the one that has the main support. That's the one I'm gonna put on the back of the camera because the weight of the camera seems to be more towards the front. The front one, I went ahead and just did a little smoothing out here. I don't know if you can see this. So as you can see, I just smoothed this a little bit and I went ahead and put a screw on there and then put the nut on the back. And these are nylon locking nuts. Alright, we are going to test it out. So this camera will go on here like this. So if you're going to put it on, you squeeze these together and then it goes in. It's pretty tight and it locks in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be riding along like this. Now you've got a camera you can hand hold for some good footage. So that's on, locked in. It's nice. Here, come on over and check it out. So I can do this. So I'm going to show you how I can do this one-handed. So let's say you're riding along. Let me move this over here. Okay, so you're riding along and you want to take this off. So here's how you're going to do it. You're going to come in. I'll bring the camera to the other side. You can push down here, turn 45, and the camera releases. See how that works? Now you can hold it. You go on 45 and lock it in. That is not going anywhere. That is not going anywhere. Now you cannot, because of how I mounted it, there's no way to change the center line, so you're going to have a center line view, but that's what most people want anyway. Is that right? Isn't that right? Most people want just a basic. Most people want a center line, right? Okay, so here's how it's going to work. You're going to reach in, push down with your pinky, push. See how I'm pushing the lever down? Push the lever down, turn and release. Now you've got the ability to hand hold and shoot. And when you want to put it back on, you just got to find that spot. All you got to do is put it on 45 degrees and twist, and it locks itself. To undo it, you have to push down. So it goes in 45 degrees and it locks. Push down, turn, release. There it is. Now what's cool about this, the other thing that's really cool about this, so what's really cool about this is that it's kind of got a little bit of a shock absorbing feature because of the plastic the different layers of plastic here and the rubber, the foam tape, the double-sided foam tape. So it has a little bit of a shock damping effect. So it might help to stabilize the footage a little bit, or it's going to make the footage worse. I don't know. We'll test it out. In fact, let's go test it out. All right, we're going to give you a quick demonstration on how this works. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is, I have this set to just record automatically just by a single push. Okay, so it's recording. You got the red lights on. All right, let's cruise. Let's see how well it does. So here we are. We're on like a really rough road, so this is going to be a great just test of the footage. Gotta watch out for that branch. Yeah, it's a pretty bad road, I know, but here it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna put this footage side by side so you can see what it's doing. Okay. There we are. And then probably should test it on a smooth surface too. Let's keep on moving. So here it is. It's holding up just fine. Now, say we're riding along and filming stuff. We come over here. Oh, check it out. There's this really cool waterfall we could look at. So we stopped, we unhook it, and look. We are filming random stuff. Right? Ooh, yay. Okay. So I'm filming the camera, filming me. We could be riding along. We could just be doing whatever. And now we can hold this. I can take it out of this special case if I wanted to, because this mount will work with the other without the case. So that's the beauty of this. It works with or without the case. So if you wanted to plug in your auxiliary microphone to this and use it as a vlogging camera, you know, you simply could. You could literally vlog with this. So anyway, okay, so then we're gonna put it back down. Again, all you're doing is, and I'll get better at this with time, is locking it in. So it comes off and it locks in. That's pretty cool. Here it is, right? Comes off. Goes on, and it comes off really quick. This is really neat, huh? Anyway, so that's a quick test. I'm going to show you this footage. Somehow I'll show you this footage. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but we'll figure it out. Alright, well that's it for this video. I hope you found this interesting and useful. Here, I can do this. That's so neat. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Let me know what you think about this video, about this mount. Alright, sorry about that. Just as I was filming my closing statements, the battery in the camera died. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Henry Wildberry, and have a nice evening, and I hope to see you in the next video.